Hello, and welcome to the Creation versus Evolution debate. I'm Taylor, and I'll be representing creation.
Hi, I'm Daphne, and I'll be representing evolution.
To start this off, let's start at how we view the beginning. How do you say life began?
Well, I believe creation is just purely faith and no science at all. So, I say that life began in a primordial soup, and everything evolved to where we are now, over 1 billion years ago. Everything was simply an amoeba.
I say that an omnipotent God created everything in 6 days, and that a big bang or just a big explosion couldn't have created the entire earth.
Well, what evidence do you have for that? How could all of this be made in the span of 6 days?
Well, you see, most organisms are so irreducibly complex that they can't even be boiled down to an explosion. Think about it. Do you seriously think that the exact distance between the sun and the moon were even? If it's an inch off, we'd all be dead and life wouldn't exist. Do you seriously think that happened by coincidence? I think not. Also, speaking of explosions, where did the energy to create the Big Bang even come from? It'd be contradicting the law of conservation of energy.
I see your point. But wouldn't saying it's too complex to happen be just as far-fetched as saying an all-powerful God made all of this? To me, that's just as illogical, if more. And evolutionists no longer believe in the Big Bang. It's universal expansion now. I hope that answered your question.
I see your point, but there is proof that God exists, and all that was in the Bible is true. And if Big Bang isn't the theory anymore, what is? Also, have you noticed God's existence has never been a theory, but all of evolution is? Have you ever thought about that?
Universal expansion is that there was a little explosion, but the universe has been growing since then. And sure, evolution is a theory, but that doesn't make Christianity more true or creationism as a whole. There is no hardcore evidence for Christianity or creationism, but there is evidence for evolution. Bouncing off this point, how would you use creationism to explain the fossil Lucy? It's clearly the transitional species between apes and human, aka a hominid.
It's either an ape or a human. It can't be both. I think it's an ape. It has more ape features than a human. Evolutionists like yourself tend to find anything they can say to prove that God doesn't exist. But it never truly makes sense. There is no absolute proof for anything you say. For example, how do you say the Grand Canyon was created?
It was made over 60 million years ago. You can tell by the layers of strata. There was a bunch of tectonic plates pushing off the layers of the canyon, which made it form into that huge big canyon, and that had to have happened over so many years, because how could that happen so quickly?
Okay, but then why are there gaps in the chronological events in the strata? And why is there basically a miniature Grand Canyon at the bottom of Mount Helen, formed in a matter of weeks?
Well, because that was scalding hot lava. This is different. This is tectonic plates moving. Those are completely different things. And those things you were talking about, the gaps, were called unconformities. The scientific explanation for that would be something happened to the rocks, like it got knocked out or destroyed, and there's been erosion since then, if that answers your question.
Well, I guess so, but looks like we're running out of time. I think we made some really good points today, but I am not convinced.
Me too, but I'm glad I was able to hear your opinions. Nonetheless, I am still an evolutionist.
I completely agree. Well, thanks for coming on the show, and it was nice talking to you, and thank y'all for listening.
Bye.
Bye.